Americans, I need to apologise to you. Before I came to this country, I believed everything negative I saw in the news. I saw things about how everyone was rude, how everyone tried to rip you off, and how people just genuinely don't get on. I have now been here over 2 weeks and I can confirm that that is not the truth. Everyone has been so friendly to me. Everyone wants to talk to me, everyone's been giving me advice about my trip and just genuinely being so helpful. American hospitality is definitely a real thing, guys, and I'm all here for it.
The media portrays Americans as rude, lazy, all the above, and it's further from the truth. The amount of hospitality and kindness and care and pride Americans hold is truly like no other country I've been to. And to show you a perfect example of that, today is Flag Day, National Flag Day, and I went to the Huntsville Square. They did the whole ceremony where they lower the flag and I guess put a new flag up for the year. And that was obviously followed by the American national anthem. And it was just so nice to see everyone get their hat, take it off, and respect the country. The communities are so tight-knit together. And whilst I was there, of course, I was noticed because of my online presence now. And everyone came up to me and said, "Hi, handshakes, how are you?"
What if the country they were told to fear became the place they didn't want to leave? What if the broken America on their screens disappeared the moment a stranger smiled? A city welcomed them, and the American dream suddenly felt real again? During World Cup 2026, European fans came with doubts, jokes, and warnings. Many left with tears, fears, cravings, friendships, and one painful question: did the world lie to them about America? America stole hearts.
Oh my God, bro! What the? Oh my gosh! What the, bro? Damn! Oh my gosh! Oh, my life is movie, bro. My life is movie. Oh my gosh! Look! Damn! My life is movie.
American people won't understand this video, yeah? But anybody who's from outside of America or Ireland or whatever, yeah? It's actually so goated walking around here and actually experiencing this shit for the first time. Bro, the school buses they get picked up on, that shit is real, bro. They actually go to school on a school bus, bro. Look at this street, bro. It's the most American ass street I've ever seen in my life. I'm just floating around it, bro. This shit is cool. Just walk around. Being in America is actually goated. Because every single movie, every single TV show, every influencer, YouTuber, they all are in America doing shit. And actually getting to come here from someone outside of the country and experience it. It's just funny out. Like, why is there a fire hydrant? Like, why is that there? I thought that shit was just for fucking background effect. I don't know. That shit is actually real. This place actually makes you realise how shit Ireland is. I can't lie. This place is just 20 times better. There's so much shit to do here. Bro, when you're with your friends in Ireland, you're like, I don't want to go out. There's nothing to do. You're just like, what we do. Bro, over here you can do anything. Go to any of the parks. Bro, you can get the best food possible. Bro, Top Golf, that shit is gold. There's just so much endless possibilities over here compared to being in Ireland. It actually makes you realise how depressing that place is. Anybody from America is going to watch this video and be like, what the fuck is this going on about? But anybody outside of America is going to understand, bro. It's like being in a dream or something. Bro, I watched all of this shit as a kid, and being here for the first time, it's just funny as fuck.
Some Europeans arrive in America for the World Cup with the emotional preparation of someone stepping into a documentary about national collapse. Back home, the image had already been edited for them. Angry streets, dangerous cities, plastic food, rude people, endless arguments, and a country supposedly held together by drive-thrus, lawsuits, and 3 gallons of ranch dressing. Then they landed, rolled their suitcases through an American airport, walked outside, met the first smiling stranger, and suddenly the script in their heads started making a very strange noise.
Safe, America is clean, America is friendly. Man, this is such an awesome place. God bless America.
Looky, where are my keys?
I looked back and I see that you left your keys by the grill.
No way. You guys is taking America, it's crazy.
Und mein Himmel, they have alcohol!
That first reaction is the most honest one, because it happens before they have time to protect their pride. You can see it in the way they talk about America after a few days here. They do not sound like tourists reading from a brochure. They sound like people who have been caught secretly enjoying something they had spent years making jokes about. One British fan says Americans have welcomed them with open arms. Another admits the media back home misrepresented Americans completely. A German fan cries because he was treated with kindness. A woman leaving after living in the US says her life and future feel like they belong here. That is not a souvenir review. That is a whole emotional suitcase refusing to zip shut.
I was just thinking about an interaction I had with an American lady the other day. She was asking me like how I've been finding it. I've been here for a couple of weeks now, like what the differences are between the UK and America. And I said that I found the people here are a lot friendlier. All my interactions, everyone's just so nice. People go out their way to be nice, whether that be at like a gas station, a supermarket, on a hike. Even just driving, I found people were so much more like polite. They'll put their hand up. And she replied saying, that's because we all carry over here. So is that the only reason people are nice? I doubt that is the case, but I'd never even thought of that possibility before, and it did make me think that could actually be why. I mean, it makes sense that if there is a risk, if you piss someone off and they got a gun, shit could go down, like you would just be friendlier, so it does make sense. So yeah, can someone let me know how big of a part does that play? Is everyone just like on edge? Is everyone wary that everyone's got a gun, so everyone's just super nice?
American hospitality and the American people's friendliness in general is on another level compared to the UK. I mean, I wish I could just get myself back to the US. I wish I could stay there permanently. I feel like I'm missing out so much by missing this 254th of July. What is going on? Genuinely, I love the US. It is the greatest nation on earth. Also, link in bio if you want to help my journey. Like, go check it out, please.
What makes it even funnier is how ordinary the evidence was. America did not need to bring out fireworks over Mount Rushmore or have a bald eagle deliver a cheeseburger on horseback. It just behaved like itself. A stranger asked where they were from. Someone in Dallas offered food, a place to stay, a boat ride, and apparently enough hospitality to make an Englishman from Portsmouth wonder if he had accidentally joined a witness protection program with better barbecue. A Red Sox fan in Boston gave German supporters a ride back to their hotel after a celebration at Fenway Park, which sounds like a small thing until you remember these visitors had been told America was dangerous and cold. Then the dangerous country sent them home safely with a local named Bob. That is the part many patriotic Americans will understand immediately. The world argues about America as if America is only a headline. But a country is also the man who stops to help you find the right train, the waitress who remembers your order, the family in Texas who tells you to call them if you need anything, and the random person in a stadium line who treats your jersey like an invitation to become friends for 90 minutes. In London, people can be kind, but public life often keeps its coat buttoned. In Paris, beauty sits at cafe tables with perfect posture and a tiny espresso. In Berlin, daily life can feel organized enough to make even the trash bins seem professionally trained. Those places have charm, history, and dignity. But America walks up with a grin, a giant cup of ice, and the confidence to say, "Come on in, we've got room." That is why these fans sound so surprised when they praise it. They were not expecting perfection, but they were definitely not expecting to feel wanted. During World Cup 2026, America became more than stadiums and city skylines. It became the place where strangers made them laugh, fed them too much, showed them around, and somehow made going home feel like leaving a party before the best song came on. No wonder they are already checking flights back. Once America makes you feel like you belong, even the airport departure gate starts looking a little rude. The welcome spell. There is a very funny warning Europeans should receive before visiting America for the World Cup. Do not make eye contact with friendly locals unless you are emotionally prepared to be invited to 3 states, 2 barbecues, 1 lake day, and somebody's cousin's 4th of July cookout. America does not always introduce itself politely from across the room. Sometimes it walks straight up, shakes your hand, asks who you support, then somehow makes you feel rude for not already having weekend plans in Texas.
So I literally just complimented someone's bunny ears on the street and they gave them to me. That's how nice people are in America. It's so cute.
I've never told anybody this before, like anybody. In 2014, during a depressive episode, I spent $87 on Candy Crush.
This is where the fascination goes deeper than a simple compliment. Many European visitors are not just praising Americans because someone smiled at them. They are reacting to a whole social style that feels almost illegal if you come from a place where public friendliness is rationed like good butter. In Britain, a stranger talking too warmly on the street can make people check whether they accidentally joined a charity campaign. In Paris, the city can be gorgeous enough to make your camera nervous, but casual warmth often arrives slowly, like a cat deciding whether your existence is acceptable. In Vienna, Berlin, or Stockholm, people can be deeply decent, but they usually let privacy stand between strangers like a well-behaved fence. America has fences too, of course, but socially it keeps leaving the gate open. That is why the French traveler's comment feels so revealing. She says Americans kept telling her, if you go to Texas, let me know. Or, come to Florida, I'll show you around. Or, if you visit New York, I'll make sure you have a good time. To Americans, that may sound normal, almost automatic. To many Europeans, it sounds like the beginning of a movie where the main character either finds a new family or accidentally joins a tailgate before noon. The reason this becomes so addictive is that American hospitality often comes with movement. It is not only nice to meet you, it is come with us. It is not only enjoy your trip, and it is you have to try this place. And if you don't, I will personally lose respect for your vacation. In America, local pride has legs. It drives, it points, it makes a reservation. It has barbecue sauce on its shirt and a phone full of skyline photos.
I literally have the best next door neighbor. He just brought us over a fucking steak. What the fuck? That's insane.
Now with the World Cup, many Europeans are also discovering something they were told was fake: American friendliness. In Germany, if someone smiles too much, people get suspicious. Why are you smiling? What do you want from me? Are you trying to sell me insurance? So when Germans come to America and strangers talk to them, smile at them, compliment them, or ask where they're from, many of them think it is fake, because that is the stereotype. Americans are fake. Americans smile too much. Americans say, how are you? But they don't mean it. And yes, American friendliness can feel different when you first experience it. But after a while, you realize something. A lot of it is actually genuine. People are just more open. They talk to strangers. They help you. They ask questions. They give compliments. And they make small talk. And for many Europeans, that is completely new. I have had more random conversations with strangers in America than I had in years in Germany. At gas stations, at restaurants, at the airport, even in elevators. Sometimes it is only 30 seconds, but it still makes your day. And I think this is something Europeans really underestimate about America: the warmth.
That gives visitors something travel brochures cannot provide. They do not merely see Boston, Dallas, Houston, Miami, or Los Angeles as locations on a map. They experience those places through people who love them out loud. A Boston local does not just say the city is historic, he tells you where to eat after Fenway. A Texan does not simply mention pride, he treats brisket like a sacred duty and shade like a public service. A Floridian may warn you about the heat, then still insist the beach will fix your soul by sunset. This is the part media images often miss. America is argued about from far away as a problem, but experienced up close as a series of open doors. Not every door, not every person, not every day. Still, enough doors open that a visitor begins to feel something dangerous in the sweetest way. Maybe life could be bigger than the routine they came from. And once that feeling gets under the skin, going home becomes complicated. The flight back to Europe is no longer just a return trip. It is leaving behind the country where a stranger made room for you before you even knew you needed room. Ranch awakening. The funny thing about America is that it does not seduce visitors politely. It does not whisper, serve one elegant bite on a white plate, and wait for applause. It opens the door at 1 a.m. So it points toward Waffle House, hands you hash browns with 3 toppings, then behaves as if this is a completely normal hour to begin a new chapter in your life. For many European fans, that is where the real trouble starts. They can survive the stadiums, the highways, the big flags, the giant trucks, even the air conditioning that feels like winter moved into a CVS. But American food culture gets into the routine. It follows them back to the hotel. It waits in the snack aisle. It sits in the mind during the flight home like a little cowboy made of barbecue smoke and honey mustard. That is why so many of these reactions sound half joking and half serious. A British visitor talks about bringing seasoning back to the UK as if he has discovered fire. Someone else finds ranch dressing and treats it with the respect usually reserved for family jewelry. Another talks about Walmart, Target, Cheesecake Factory, Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Sonic, and Waffle House like a pilgrim listing holy sites on a very greasy map. And honestly, it makes sense. In much of Europe, food culture is often built around tradition, restraint, and local identity. A bakery in Paris can make a croissant so beautiful, it deserves a passport photo. A trattoria in Rome can turn 3 ingredients into something your grandmother would defend in court. A market in Barcelona can make fruit look dressed for a festival. Europe has flavor, history, and craft. But America has a different magic trick. It turns everyday choice into entertainment. That is the addictive part. The American grocery store does not simply sell cereal. It stages a cereal election with 40 candidates, and somehow every box has campaign colors. the gas station does not merely sell fuel. It sells hot meals, giant drinks, jerky, donuts, coffee, and a snack wall that looks prepared for both a road trip and a minor natural disaster. The restaurant does not stop at dinner. It asks if you want ranch, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, buffalo sauce, extra fries, a refill, a to-go box, and possibly a second personality by dessert. For someone from London, where a late-night meal may mean chips, kebab, or a sad sandwich glowing under convenience store lighting, the American 1 a.m. food scene can feel like finding Broadway inside a refrigerator. For someone from Munich, where Sunday closing still shapes the rhythm of the week, walking into an American store at night and finding 3 aisles of snacks can feel like the building has no bedtime. For someone from Copenhagen or Amsterdam, where portions often respect the human stomach, like a well-trained civil servant, an American plate can arrive looking as if it was approved by Congress during a hunger emergency. But this is not only about size. If it were only big portions, the joke would get old quickly. What hooks visitors is the feeling that America wants ordinary life to have options. The sauce is not just sauce, it is permission to customize. The refill is not just more soda, it is a tiny promise that nobody is rushing you out. The to-go box is not just packaging, it says tomorrow's breakfast may already be sitting beside tonight's regret. That is why going home can feel strangely flat afterward. The European fan returns to a smaller snack aisle, quieter service, earlier closing hours, and fewer outrageous choices, then realizes America has changed the volume of daily life. A simple grocery trip back home suddenly feels like listening to a song after someone removed the drums. So when they joke about missing ranch or dreaming about barbecue, they are really talking about something bigger. They miss a country where enjoyment is not embarrassed to take up space. They miss the place that made comfort feel generous, funny, excessive, welcoming, and somehow sincere. America did not just feed them during the World Cup. It gave their appetite a souvenir and refused to let it fit in the suitcase. Screen heaven. The next thing that gets Europeans hooked is not just American sport. It is the way America builds a whole weather system around sport. In some countries, a match is something you watch. In America, a match becomes an excuse for food, noise, friends, strangers, beer, neon signs, giant screens, and a room full of people suddenly behaving like one very emotional family that just met 20 minutes ago. That is why the sports bar reactions are so good. Many European fans know football culture better than almost anyone. They have pubs in Manchester, beer halls in Munich, cafes in Madrid, old neighborhood bars in Naples, and stadium streets where the whole city seems to breathe through one club scarf. Europe understands passion. Nobody can honestly deny that. But the American sports bar offers a different creature entirely. It is less like a pub and more like ESPN rented a warehouse, married a restaurant, adopted a dozen televisions, and raised them all on buffalo wings. In Britain, a pub can be beautiful because it feels old, local, and slightly cramped in the most comforting way. You watch the match near a wooden bar, someone complains about the referee, and the carpet has probably survived 3 governments. In Germany, the beer hall gives you order, volume, long tables, and a sense that the evening has been planned by people who know exactly how foam should sit on top of a glass. In Spain or Italy, watching a game often spills into the street, carried by voices, scooters, cigarettes, and espresso cups. Those places have soul. America adds infrastructure to the soul. That is the difference. The American sports bar does not trust you to miss a single second. There are TVs above you, beside you, behind you, in corners where no normal human being would think to place a screen. You can look down at your fries, look up again, and somehow still see 3 angles of the same goal, a baseball score, a beer commercial, and a college mascot dancing like it has student loans. One European fan in the clip notices the second floor, the screens everywhere, the giant beer, and you can almost hear his brain trying to file a complaint with reality. This is addictive because America makes spectatorship feel social without making it formal. Nobody needs an invitation with cursive writing. You walk in wearing a jersey, and the jersey does half the talking. The bartender becomes a referee of mood. The table next to you becomes temporary relatives. A stranger from Kansas can raise a glass to a fan from Croatia, and for the next 90 minutes, everybody understands the arrangement. You do not have to explain your whole life. You just have to cheer at the right time and not block the TV. For patriotic Americans, this is one of the country's underrated gifts. America knows how to turn free time into an occasion. A random Tuesday can become a watch party. A road trip can become a memory because someone found the place with all the TVs. A city can welcome thousands of foreign fans and somehow make them feel that the whole neighborhood has been expecting them. That is why Europeans leave talking about more than the score. They remember the scale, the screens, the sound, the stranger who shouted with them, and the funny realization that American sports culture does not ask visitors to stand outside and admire it. It pulls out a chair, points at the biggest screen in the building, and says with complete confidence, "You're watching with us now." The movie was real. One of the funniest things about Europeans arriving in America is that half of the country feels strangely familiar before they understand why. They have never been there, but they have seen the yellow school bus, the wide suburban street, the diner booth, the front porch, the gas station coffee, the glowing skyline, the wooden fence, the red cup, the police car, the high school hallway, the little mailbox standing by the driveway like it has a mortgage, and opinions about property tax. America has been living rent-free in the world's imagination for decades, and then World Cup 2026 gave millions of fans a chance to walk inside the set. That is why the yellow bus reaction is so perfect. To Americans, it is just Tuesday with homework and traffic. To a British, Dutch, German, or French visitor, that bus has been sitting in their childhood like a movie prop guarded by Spielberg himself. In London or Manchester, school transport does not usually arrive as one bright yellow national symbol rolling through the street like a giant pencil with wheels. In Paris, kids may take the metro, walk, ride with parents, or use local transport. In Amsterdam, bicycles rule the school run with the calm confidence of a tiny two-wheeled republic. Then America sends out a yellow bus, and suddenly adults react like they have found Hogwarts parked outside Walmart. The addictive part is not only nostalgia, it is the feeling that American life has a public visual language. You do not need a tour guide to recognize it. A European fan can see a porch and immediately understand that somebody somewhere has sat there with iced tea and judged the whole neighborhood with love. They can look at a long road in Texas or Georgia and feel that a road trip is not just transportation, but a national mood with cup holders. They can stand in a supermarket aisle and realize that even the cereal boxes seem designed for a camera close-up. This is very different from the beauty of Europe, which often hides its magic in age, detail, and layers. Rome makes you feel history under your shoes. Prague turns a street corner into a postcard. Edinburgh looks as if it was built specifically for fog to feel important. But America does something else. It makes daily life feel cinematic without needing to be ancient. The sky is bigger, the parking lots are wider, the signs are brighter, and even a normal sunset can look like the closing scene of a country song that got a little carried away. That is why visitors keep filming things Americans barely notice. A squirrel waiting at a crosswalk becomes a moment. A house with a toilet near the entrance becomes a discovery. A suburban neighborhood where people sit out front feels surprising to someone from the UK, where outdoor life often hides behind the house and the garden. An air park neighborhood where driveways have planes instead of just cars sounds like something a child would invent after eating too much cereal during Saturday morning cartoons. For patriotic Americans, there is something sweet in watching foreigners fall in love with these ordinary details. It reminds people that what feels normal at home can look wonderful from the outside. America's charm is not only in the famous monuments, it is in the way the country turns everyday objects into icons without even trying. A bus becomes a symbol. A porch becomes a welcome sign. A highway becomes a promise. A sunset becomes a reason to stop talking for a second. And that may be why leaving hurts more than visitors expected. They are not just leaving a destination. They are stepping out of a movie they thought they already understood, only to realize the best scenes were the quiet ones Americans drive past every day. Maybe the real surprise of this World Cup was never that Europeans found America bigger, louder, or tastier than expected. It was that they found a country still warm enough to make strangers feel remembered, still proud enough to welcome the world without shrinking itself. If America changed their minds this deeply, what would you show a first-time visitor to make them fall in love too? Subscribe for more stories that remind us why home still matters to millions here.